It's not telling you what you're doing is wrong. It's a delayed signal from the discomfort of growth. It's your nervous system still catching up with the new version of you. Welcome to the Foster Your Voice podcast with me, Kristi Foster. After a 30-year career in music and theater, I never imagined I'd be coaching trial attorneys. But once I entered your world, I quickly realized how critical and underutilized voice is in the courtroom. The truth is, you don't win trials with brute strength. You win with your voice. I'll give you tools to unlock your voice so you can communicate not just with purpose, but on purpose. If you want quick action tips to help you stay calm and in control, keep jurors engaged, and inspire your listeners to action, all through the power of your voice, you're in the right place. I'm Kristi Foster, and I'm here to help you foster your voice. Hello, Foster fam. Oh, I am excited for today's episode because it's a powerful concept that's newer to my awareness, and I think it has real transformational opportunity. We're going to dig into lagging indicators and extinction bursts. I know they sound really nerdy and not all that exciting, but I promise you'll be so glad to have these two things on your awareness. Before we get to it, though, I have to say just how much I enjoyed attending the AAJ convention in San Francisco recently. By the time this episode comes out, it will have been a couple of weeks ago, but when I'm recording, it's still really fresh on my mind. So I just wanted to share a couple of thoughts. First of all, the convention itself is enormous. So much is going on. Sometimes several things you want to attend all happening at once, and you have to kind of decide where you want to be. But what a robust menu of CLE programming and offerings available. Now, I had the high privilege of getting to speak to the Birth Trauma Litigation Group, BTLG, and share how to maximize engagement of jurors and really whoever you communicate with throughout the trial process and throughout legal advocacy. We had a great time together, and I loved getting to just meet another group of absolute heroes. So fun also to connect with friends and clients from across the nation, kind of all in one place. It was wonderful. And I was glad for some cooler Bay Area weather. It had been hot up here when I left to go down, and I was glad for the cooler, mistier days. But the whole event was just so refreshing, just on multiple levels. If you have a firm training or an upcoming conference that you'd like a speaker for, whether virtual or in person, head to my website, www.fostervoicestudio.com, and click on the workshop tab to reach out. I'd love to help you and your team be able to better maximize engagement and master the who and the how of legal communication. You know what I hate? Being misunderstood. It's actually one of my biggest fears, if I'm honest, right up there with birds. Yes, I'm afraid of birds. Leave me alone about it already. Being misunderstood is just the worst, though. Trying to communicate something and seeing that it's just not landing the way you intend. A too harsh of tone with your kid or spouse that ended up setting them off. A thinking face that got interpreted as annoyance or irritation and ended up shutting down the conversation and leaving you baffled. It's so frustrating in our personal lives, but in the courtroom, your mismatched communication profile could break your case and lose you a deserving verdict. So, I've created a free guide to get you thinking about the emotional profiles you create. It's a printable guide to help you 10x your communication impact by mastering 6 emotional profiles for clear and authentic connection. I break down the 6 core emotions: happy, sad, love, pride, anger, and fear by giving you face, body, and breathing cues. Plus, I show you exactly which point on a 1 to 10 scale you should be with your pitch, pace, melody, volume, and tone in order to authentically capture the center of that core emotion. The link to get your free guide is in the show notes or by simply going to my website, fostervoicestudio.com. Don't wait to clear up your part of miscommunication and misunderstandings. Get your free download today. So today, I want to reframe something that trips up so many high-achieving, growth-oriented people, especially folks like you, who are building careers that rely on clarity, confidence, and showing up in those high-pressure moments. But honestly, no one is immune to it. It's something I've been tracking in my own life, and it felt worthwhile to research and explore and normalize so we can all just confirm our sanity, confirm our sanity together. So, I'm talking about why things feel harder right before they get better. Why does doubt just kick in right after you finally made a bold move? Why does the tension in your body spike after things? Whatever it is, trial, presentations, performance, whatever it is, why does it spike when it's over? And why in the world are you suddenly flooded with second guessing, even though you know technically you're doing everything right? This is the weirdness of the brain. The brain is your best friend, but also it feels like an unwitting saboteur sometimes too, right? Now, as I've been grappling with this wild dichotomy over the last year, my coach introduced me to 2 psychological terms that have given me at least some kind of explanation to this frustrating experience. The first is lagging indicators, and the second is extinction bursts. And for me, once I could see them in action and identify them, it began to shift things for me. So let's start with lagging indicators. In business or health, a lagging indicator is something that shows up after a pattern has already been happening, like a delayed response to an action you've been doing. Now, here's the problem. We usually treat it like it's telling us something important about this moment, when it's actually pointing to everything that led up to now. An easy example of this is like with the scale when you're tracking your weight. You see a weight gain and you think, shoot, I shouldn't have eaten whatever for dinner last night. Or the reverse, when you lose and you think, well, it's because I worked out yesterday. The brain is always looking for things to make sense, and we love it when we can have a direct correlation. But that's just not how weight loss or weight gain works. The gain or the loss is a result of what happened probably a few days before, not 8 hours before. It's a lagging indicator. So, how about for you and your attempts to grow in courtroom leadership? Let's say you've been practicing slowing down your speech in court. You've been working on being more intentional with your pauses, more emotionally grounded, more vocally connected, and you've been doing it. You've practiced in low stakes situations, and you've been working on the 5 vocal building blocks. You are a top-notch Kristi Foster student. Yay, you. But then one day you get in front of a jury and Your voice locks up. Everything stops working. You feel flat, anxious, disconnected. It's like you're just starting your nonverbal skills and your hard work is not evident at all. Now, what most people think in that moment is, I must be doing something wrong. Maybe I'm not cut out for this style. This isn't working. But here's the truth. That voice lockup, that anxiety spike, it's a lagging indicator. It's not telling you what you're doing is wrong. It's a delayed signal from the discomfort of growth. It's your nervous system still catching up with the new version of you. So, lagging indicators feel totally convincing because they show up later when we're not expecting them. So we link the result to the wrong thing. See how that works? You're feeling the lagging indicator of the shift in power dynamics. The tension was baked into the old system. The discomfort is just showing up now because you finally changed something. It's a lagging indicator. This is the moment where most people backpedal. But if you understand lagging indicators, you know the tension isn't the problem. It's the cost of change. So, what happens if you don't backpedal? If you stay the course, even when the discomfort spikes, that's when you hit what's known as the extinction burst. So this is the second item. This term comes from behavioral psychology. It describes what happens just right before a behavior pattern goes away for good. It flares up, it bursts right before it goes extinct. Now, here's a classic example. So let's say a child always gets a snack when they throw a tantrum. One day, the parent says, no. Well, what happens? The child doesn't go, I see. The pattern has changed. I'll just self-regulate. No, the tantrum gets worse, louder, messier, more intense. That's the extinction burst. But if the parent holds the boundary, eventually the tantrum fades. The behavior stops. The new normal takes hold. So I totally get that for kids, even though I'm not a parent. I've done my fair share of babysitting. So I know. And that example makes perfect sense to me. But what they don't teach you in adulting school is that your grown-up patterns will throw extinction bursts too. Just because it's easy and accessible. Let's demonstrate this with another weight loss example. Let's say you've had a long-standing habit of grabbing something sweet every night after dinner. It's your way of unwinding, even if you're not physically hungry. But you decide to stop, decide to cut those calories out, not through willpower alone, but because you've been working on listening to your hunger, honoring your body, and getting better sleep. So, night one, you skip the snack. It's uncomfortable, but manageable. Night two, you still skip it. You feel kind of proud. Night three, you get a little irritable, maybe a bit restless. Night four, you feel ravenous. You can't stop thinking about food. You're annoyed, pacing, maybe even arguing with your partner or your spouse. You feel like something's wrong. That's the extinction burst. Your brain is saying, wait, what happened to the snack? That's how we regulate. That's how we feel safe. So it amps up the craving, the urgency, the emotion. It's a last-ditch effort to reinstate the old reward loop. But here's the key. If you expect the extinction burst and you write it out without giving in, the craving dies down. The habit begins to extinguish. Your body and brain start learning the new pattern. Now, how about extinction bursts as it relates to courtroom communication and your leadership presence? If you've always rushed through your delivery to prove your intelligence and you start slowing down, expect your brain to panic. If you've always avoided visibility and you speak with more emotion and vocal power, expect your nervous system to throw up some red flags. If your identity has been built around overgiving, overfunctioning, and you start setting some real boundaries with people, and that people pleasing part of you, it will rebel. That rebellion, that chaos, that discomfort, that's the extinction burst. It doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It means the old pattern is losing oxygen. Okay, so now let's just zoom out. If you've ever set a big goal, be it professional, personal, it doesn't matter, you've probably noticed this sequence. You start strong, hopeful, energized, then resistance, discomfort, the wobbles, then a spike in chaos. The tech fails, emotions rise, people react, and then doubt. Why is this so hard? Should I quit? This is not a sign your goal is wrong. It's a sign you're right on time. The resistance is a lagging indicator of the inner change already underway. The chaos is an extinction burst of the pattern you're replacing. See how these work together? Extinction bursts and lagging indicators. If you can hold steady through that wave without making it mean something's wrong, you move into a new phase. The new behavior stabilizes. The nervous system recalibrates. The results start to show up. But if you jump ship too early, you stay trapped in the cycle. Now, personally, I find this whole thing really irritating. Like, that's not how I want growth to happen at all. This is what I meant by the brain being your best friend and also your greatest adversary. But at least now you know what to look for, and you don't have to fall for the illusion that progress should always feel good. Your brain will absolutely throw tantrums as you grow, and it will be uncomfortable. Welcome. Welcome. So here's what I want to leave you with. If you're in a moment right now where things feel confusing or shaky, if you've committed to growth and then immediately feel like everything just got harder, pause. Ask yourself, could this be a lagging indicator of a deeper shift that I've already made and my brain is just catching up? Is this an extinction burst of an identity I'm outgrowing? Is my brain just throwing a tantrum because I'm actually growing in my new skills? Can I let this discomfort mean I'm on track, not off course? Because your nervous system might be throwing a fit, but your true self is leading the way. So keep going. Keep trying those new things. Keep building those new skills. Thanks for listening today. Hey, if this episode helped you reframe your own messy middle, well, send it to a friend who might need to hear it too, or to someone who you trust to remind you about this occasionally and just encourage you in those uncomfortable times. And if you want more like this for navigating growth with clarity and confidence, hop on my email list. I've got fun new freebies coming your way, and I don't want you to miss out. So until next time, breathe through the burst, trust the lag, and keep fostering your voice. Thanks for pulling up a seat with me today and for being part of the Foster fam. Make sure you're subscribed to the podcast so you don't miss a single episode. And while you're at it, go ahead and leave a review or a comment so I can give you a shout out on a future episode. During the week, you can find me on Instagram at Foster Voice Studio, where I'm dropping little nuggets of vocal technique and leadership wisdom. You can also join my mailing list by visiting fostervoicestudio.com or by clicking the link in the show notes. I'll send a weekly vocal tip every Tuesday directly to your inbox. Until then, keep fostering your voice.